matters on this dial. Like we're talking political matters, we're talking important matters, matters affecting the nation. Yes, the economy, in fact, the nation, like I said. Welcome on board. My name is Jude Ikami Jude, and I have the pleasure of having with me a former commissioner of police. Yes, CP Chooks is here with me, but virtually anyway. A very beautiful afternoon to you, CP. Good afternoon to you. Can you hear me? Hello, CP. Are you there? Oh, I think we're having Hello, CP. Can you hear me? Good afternoon to you. Okay, I think some technical issues just right there, but then we get to sort it out as quickly as possible so we can hear him. Okay, but then in case you are joining us, yes, I want to say thank you so very much. But you can also share this broadcast, okay, with your friends and every other person around you. Just get to YouTube and you can watch us live. And of course, share your views with us this afternoon, okay? YouTube VOP 90.3 FM, Voice of the People 90.3 FM. That's what it is, okay? And then we have a WhatsApp platform where you can also drop your messages. Let's have a big, robust conversation this afternoon. The WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. Again, 0700 903 9039. Okay, and much more later you can call in, call the studio number. Okay, the line, the number is 0700 903 903 903. Again, 0700 903 903 903. CP, are you there now? Can you hear me? Hello, CP, are you there? I can't hear you. Hello? Oh. All right. CP, are you there? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Okay, CP, can you hear me now?
I'm hearing you now.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so very much for joining us on Matters today. All right, VOP 90.3 FM, just to bring you up to speed. And as regards these musician, who died recently, I'm talking about Mohbad. I also want to let people know what is happening, like right now across Nigeria, and also get your response as regards this. Justice for late singer, Mohbad. The protests today hit major roads in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. In a video seen by journalists, the protesters in their hundreds took to the streets wearing black shirts in honor of the lead singer as they chanted justice for, Mohbad. The presence of security operatives was also observed as the youth marched across the street. Some bore placards with inscriptions, such as justice for Mohbad. Well, the protests caused heavy traffic across major routes in the town. I'll also give you more details later. CP, would you want to see anything as regards this protest?
Well, it is unfortunate that the singer and artist died, and at the age of 27, that is the expression protests are coming up with. Possibly the circumstances surrounding the death of the young man. And from what we've been hearing or reading recently, is that there are a lot of controversies concerning his death, to the extent that we just heard that they have brought in police into it so that police will do an investigation. And what that entails is that possibly they will have to exhume the corpse and take it for autopsy, or what they call post-mortem examination.
Yeah.
To ascertain the cause of death. The way the young man was buried was somehow unacceptable and suspicious. Suspicious in the sense that the young man was not a Muslim, but he was horribly buried. And buried in a location that was not even acceptable to the wife and those who are related to him. So those are the things that would have spurred up that protest in Abeokuta. And at the same time, we need to be very, very careful, because in such protests, just yesterday there was crisis in Shagamu between two cult groups. And it's alleged that about not less than 4 or 6 people were fatally wounded. So the thing will not germinate into the crisis in Shagamu resurfacing itself again under the pretense that they want to protest against the way the young artist died and all that.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 areas we have to be very, very careful about. So it is expected that the police and all other security and armed agencies within Ogun State should sit up, monitor the situation, and be sure that it does not lead to breakdown of law and order.
Well, we all
in Abeokuta and down to Shagamu and possibly up to Ijebu.
we also hear that the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has invited the DSS, to join the probe of the singer, and the state government also commiserated with the family and fans of the former Malian record signee. Maybe we consider these as a great move by the Lagos State government. Don't you think so?
No, that is quite in order, because the thing is assuming a wider dimension now. That, if the major stakeholders fails to do the needful, what is expected of them, before you know it, the thing will, exacerbate and can go beyond control. And people will be wondering, is it not this small thing? Nothing is small thing, that's the thing. Once there is loss of life and there are allegations here and there, it is better that all the major stakeholders you know, should get involved and see what, at least let it be open to the general public that the loss of one life means a lot to the nation, especially considering the fact that the death of this young artist,
Mubad.
yeah, is shrouded in the mystery of unexplainable circumstances. So it is better that this step the government has taken, in addition to the step the police is also taking, should be vigorously pursued, with a view to assuage the anger and bitterness or the ill feelings of some of the admirers of the deceased.
All right. I just felt I should let listeners know what is actually happening. CB, let's get to the main business of the day, and that is the fact that the aviation industry, its stakeholders, Nigerians, travelers, are worried about the growth, of the industry without the presence of, profitable airlines in operation. Stressing, people have been stressing that that the industry may not grow if urgent steps are not taken to remedy the situation. We've expected, the aviation industry in Nigeria to have grown more than more than it is right now, but it's still bewildered with several challenges. Now we are now saying, of course, I recall that the Minister of Aviation recently gave a 5-point agenda for aviation industry. I think I'll go further on to mention of that later. But then, what are those things that, first of all, we should get to understand? What do you think? What are those things we should get to understand, first of all, about the Nigerian aviation industry? Why are we where we are? In your own opinion, why are we just where we are? That's it.
You see, the aviation industry is an industry that has an international standard that is applicable not just locally, but it is the same thing that happens all over the world. And it's not just buying the aircraft or leasing the aircraft and putting it into the air that is the thing about aviation industry. It is such that everything around the airports and the aircrafts and how it takes off and how it lands is highly regulated. There is no half measure about it. It is a standard practice worldwide. And it is capital intensive because there are major agencies, about 5 of them, right there that regulates the industry. The first one is FAN, Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria. They are charged with the responsibility of maintaining the infrastructure, the buildings at the airports, the runways, the taxiways, the tarmac, and so on and so forth. We now have the NCCA, which is the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. That agency is responsible for checking the maintenance of the aircrafts, being sure that the crew and everything about the aircrafts meets up the standard 100%, nothing short of that. We also have the third agency, they call it the NAMA, Nigeria Airspace Management Agency.
Agency, yeah.
The NAMA is responsible for air traffic controllers, those who manage the aircraft from taking off and landing. So they control the movement on the sky. If the air is not worthy of and it's not safe, you know, there's no way they will allow any aircraft to go into it. And they will, you know, guide the aircraft from takeoff till it gets to its destination landing. And their duty is such that they will check the radar, give you the airway to pass so that there won't be mid-air collision between the aircrafts. So you can see how complex the whole thing is. That's for NAMA. There is also the one they call the NIMET, the meteorological, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, also is part of the Ministry of Aviation. Their own is to chart the weather and know whether the weather is flyable or not. And they work hand in hand with these other agencies. And if the weather is not flyable, the NAMA will not allow you to take off or to land. And these things depends on the weather condition, whether the weather is, the wind speed is too high, or whether the storm up there in the sky or in the clouds is flyable or not. That's the hand in hand the NAMA and NIMET does. Then the fifth is the last but not the least, is the Accident Investigation Bureau.
Okay.
That fifth one, its responsibility is to, once there are near mishaps or mishap or overshooting of the wrong way, their own is to do investigations to know why it has happened or why it did not happen. And even near accidents, like what happened to Governor Adeleke of Osun State, who was to take off a few days back, and the engines caught fire. He was very lucky the aircraft had not taken off. It was on the wrong way, or taxi were on the way to join the wrong way to take off. So when it happens like that, AIB, Accident Investigation Bureau, with NCAA will get involved to investigate the cause of the engine catching fire before they take off and all that. So having said this, you can see how capital intensive these things are. And in good number of times, when they go to get all those aircrafts, they don't even have the wherewithal, the capacity to buy. So what they do is what they call leasing. And they do either wet leasing or dry leasing. The dry leasing is where you hire the aircraft without the crew. Then the leasing is where you hire the aircraft as well as the crew. That is the pilot, the co-pilot, the flight engineer, and even the in-flight crew, you know. And these people, when you lease, you're paying in dollars. Because those aircrafts, the owners are overseas based. And even the crew you're bringing in, you also pay them in dollars. But you come to find out that the frustration and the challenges they've been having more or less comes from the area of they collect naira here to do your flying.
Okay.
And then CBN finds it difficult, whether reasons best known to them or because of the economic quagmire, to remit their foreign exchange component.
CP, I actually want us to take it step by step. All right. I would have mentioned this first. All right. But then before we get to that, I'm sure that you are aware that, you know, the federal government is talking about renovating the NMIA. Let's talk about the NMIA now. Okay. The federal government is talking about renovating the NMIA. And now some Nigerians have come out to say, instead of renovating, you know, that, airport, why not, build, or why not demolish everything, all right, and get to build a world-class standard airport instead of what we have now, instead of getting to renovate the one that we have there. What do you have to say about that? Would you say they are right or wrong?
No. The public expectation is very, very wrong. because it is capital intensive too to go into taking of demolishing that infrastructure. Where is the money to finance it? So you now come to find out that the best thing to do under this circumstance is to continue to use the existing facility. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yes, it's better to continue to use the existing facility. And from the arrangements that was recently released, they wanted to move them to the new terminal and then begin to renovate the existing international, the old terminal. But they came to find out that they have a serious challenge in that. Serious challenge in the sense that it has been affecting flight operations. It has been delaying time the aircraft are supposed to take off. And you know, this is an international business. If you are scheduled to fly off by 12 midnight or 11 p.m., a receiving airport, maybe in Paris or in New York, would have been expecting, or even London or Frankfurt, that it is at so time you should be landing in that place, all things being equal. So we are, because we have moved the bulk, the traffic on repeated airports, we are now sandwiched the bulk that uses that facility to the new wing. You now find out that the carriage will be suffocating and, you know, very, very difficult to do the processing by customs, immigration, quarantine, and so on and so forth. And the airlines will board those passengers. So that is what is now causing a lot of delays in either receiving or seeing off the international flights. And that is why they have quickly asked that they should also go back to using the former international airport. But whatever the case is, the airports are open for 24 hours. The only thing there is that the operators will keep doing shift duties for their staff or their personnel. So the way these things should be done, because it's not only here that we have airports, it's all over the world, overseas. As they are doing the unusual duty, which is to receive and process or profile passengers out of the country, whoever is the contractor should factor in this movement of cargo, persons, and so on and so forth, and look at the various areas that they should attend to in terms of renovation, and begin to do them when there is less traffic at the airport. Let me give you one instance.
Okay.
If you look at the flight schedule of all these international operations, you'll find out that most of the flights commences from 9 p.m. in the night.
Of course.
8, 9 p.m. night till 12 midnight. Those international flights. So you now find out that the traffic drops from 1 a.m. in the morning till about 6 a.m. in the morning. So those hours that human traffic has been reduced, flight operations are virtually stopped, these are the time the contractors should move in and begin to attend to whatever repairs or replacement they have to do in the airport. Then they can do it a 6 hours thing non-stop from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m.
I would also want to touch on those the repairs, like you mentioned. But then there's something you mentioned I quickly want to talk about or ask some certain questions. You said that Nigeria, is it okay? Are you trying to say that Nigeria cannot have a world standard airport? by, building a fresh one instead of renovating what we have? Now, if yes is the answer, then when are we going to, have a better airport than what it is now? If you say the one now should be renovated, then we ask another question: when do we have a standard international airport?
You see, all those things depends on the resources. The truth of the matter is that the resources is not there. We have
Is it that the resources are not there or they are embezzled? Because every of these projects shows, every of these projects
they have been embezzled in the years past. And you see, the thing is this: if we have had focused government of previous governments, if they were focused, they had a mission and a vision, we wouldn't have found ourselves in this situation.
Beautiful.
Let me even give you one analogy or analysis. During 8 years of Olusegun Obasanjo as the executive president of Nigeria, between 1999 and 2007, everything was working very well. The economy was buoyant. Therefore, there was no need. They didn't focus any attention in remodeling or renovating the international airport, international wing of Murtala Mohammed Airport, Lagos. Why? If you go in then, air conditioners, toilet facilities, office, everything was very functional, effective, and well maintained. Now, when he left, Yar'Adua came, there was no problem, there was no challenge or challenges. Then Yar'Adua died, Jonathan came. During Jonathan's regime, there was money. They even sold oil up to $150 a barrel. And the country was exporting almost 2-point-something million barrels daily. So they wouldn't tell us that they didn't have the resources on ground. But then, maybe there were challenges, that there were competing demands for all those money as it was coming. Let me just remove my eyes from the area of embezzlement, because it was really obvious that the politicians were just having fields day, scavenging and looting.
Okay.
Whatever was the proceeds, even the people in government, especially the 3 tiers of government, everybody was interested when they were talking of excess crude account by Okonjo-Iweala at that time.
I remember.
For us to prepare for they were putting the constitution that it is unconstitutional for you to go and reserve that extra money, that they should bring it out for them to share. That selfishness and wickedness of those politicians, they were not thinking of future. They were not thinking of the next generation, the generations to come. They were not thinking of, look, assuming things, we have a recession like we had in 2016, and the effect is what has kept us where we are today. How do we navigate? If not the savings Obasanjo did, to the extent that when he was living, we had almost $62 billion on foreign reserve. During the meltdown of 2008, we could have had a lot of consequences, but we survived it without even realizing that there was global recession. And even as at that time, the dollar remained 118 to 120 naira to a dollar. We tried it Yar'Adua's time. Within the 2 years he was president before he died in 2010. So what is really the crux of the matter is corruption.
Good.
Has really removed whatever we could have called savings or reserve we would have used to achieve what we are coming up with.
Okay.
That ought to be in place.
Now, don't you also think, hold on, CP, don't you also think that the so-called renovation is another way to steal funds? Is another fraud in disguise? Don't you think so?
It depends. If we have sincerity of purpose, we cannot foreclose integrity, in respect of this renovation. if we will bring out people who are God-fearing, that's just the word to use, who will be nationalistic, who will be altruistic, who will be patriotic,
Okay.
and we will now know that we are going somewhere. Those ones that will be ready to hold the bull by the horn and be sure that whatever funds that are dedicated for doing whatever improvement or upgrade they want to do for the airport, that it will be religiously applied
Hmm.
the way it's been provided for. And it will be subject to probity and accountability at every point in time the thing is being done. In other words, they have to get people with integrity and track record to be the managers of that renovation. People that will look at the faces of whoever, even if it's the president, and tell him the way it is, and tell him this one cannot function here because he has a very bad record of embezzlement. They should look for people. You see, aviation industry is an industry we cannot joke with. If you toy with it, the consequence will be so daring. It will be so deadly because it is such that, you know, a vessel, a flying vessel that will take people, okay, like the ones we are talking of international now. There's no international flight that will take passengers unless it is West African sub-region. Then you can talk of still having 150, 200 passengers. If you're talking of not less than 6 hours flight to Europe, to the Middle East, you know, and maybe to parts of Asia, or even to South Africa, and so on and so forth, you'll be talking of not less than 300 and something passengers. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, very well.
And the same applies to those who are doing long haul flights of maybe Lagos, New York, which will take nothing less than 12 hours non-stop flight.
Okay.
So those ones don't put in smaller configured aircrafts. They put in aircrafts that are, I mean, in each wing, you're having double engine on the left, double engine on the right of the wings, so that if by peradventure there is any issue on one of the wings, the other three will comfortably cruise across the Atlantic Ocean and take you to your destination. Even in some worst case scenario, even if it is two that have issues, so long as it's not two on one side, maybe one on the left, one on the right, the other second one, the other second set will still fly you to the nearest point on the other side of the universe.
You see, CP. Yes, you see, CP.
Yeah.
I've listened to Nigerians, especially during several interviews, speak about the state of the NMI, for instance, or the airports in Nigeria, especially that of Lagos. You find out that you have the local wing on one side, on one far side, and you have the international wing on the other side. And okay, people have the opinion. Nigerians are speaking, travelers have been saying, hey, instead of having these two wings on one side, this one is on one side and the other one on the other side, why not harmonize this thing? All right, let's have it in one place, so this is an international standard. All right, don't you think that is what we should be looking at this point?
The people talking like that are those who have not traveled far and wide. If you go to overseas, you find out that the local flights usually have their own wing. They don't join the two together. The international always maintain its wing. That is the standard practice overseas.
Okay.
Like if you go to Atlanta, they have their domestic wing completely, even some kilometers away from the international wing. They don't marry the two. If you go to Houston, it's the same. If you go to JFK, that is in New York, John F. Kennedy, it's purely international. You don't have any local flight there. If you want to do local flight in New York, you go to LaGuardia. LaGuardia is within the same area, the same Queens area with JFK. but they are not situated in the same place. You have to do some distance, maybe like 40 or 50 kilometers away from JFK for you to get to LaGuardia to do your domestic flight. So anybody telling you that you put the two together is not telling you what is obtainable internationally. And although there are some overlaps in some airports, but it's just limited. Limited. In good number of cases, the terminal buildings are clearly, they are never matched together. Domestic runs its own on its own way, international runs its own on its own way. That's just the standard practice.
But then aviation,
like I told you,
yes,
like I told you, if you go to Heathrow in London, Heathrow handles mostly international flights. If you're talking of domestic, maybe you can be talking of Gatwick or Stansted or some of these other airports, but not using Heathrow. Heathrow have so many terminals, but they are there for international. And that is why if you look at the original plan of Murtala Mohammed Airport, which is still the same, the international airport has its own runway, and the runway is long, sufficiently long to accommodate jumbo jets, like the ones I told you that carries 300, 400, 500 passengers. When they land or when they are taxiing, the landing and the distance it will take before it comes to a halt, you see that the local runway may not accommodate that. And that is why when they had the problem of this Niger, the coup in Niger, where the Nigerian government closed the airspace, it became a problem for British Airways that was coming from South Africa because it couldn't cross. It had to make a turn and went back to South Africa. Because I followed it up. If they wanted to land in Nigeria, the airport runway would not take the Boeing 787 double-decker jumbo. They wouldn't take it. So good enough for them, they had enough fuel, they made a turn and went back. And the same applied to the one that was heading to South Africa from London. It got close to Niger, it had to make a turn again, back to London. Even on getting to London, to land became a problem because of weather condition and some issues around Heathrow. They had to hover like 2 hours around the English Channel until they told them to come down. They finally landed. If they didn't have enough fuel, that could have been disastrous. Or maybe they would have diverted, probably to Charles de Gaulle International Airport in Paris. And that means you have to seek for Mayday, what they call emergency landing, because you are not part of the program. All the airports have their own program for all the flights that will come in and the ones that will go out. You have to make emergency arrangement to clear the airspace for you to be able to be landed, because you're running out of fuel.
Now, CP, yes, of course. Now, you see, aviation business is a very, very serious business globally, but but in Nigeria, it's quite different. We seem not to see any opportunity in the aviation, sector, in the aviation industry. Why is it like that? What would you say are the reasons?
No, the thing is this. There are professionals in the industry, in the aviation industry. And it is absolutely imperative for you to have a success story in that area of our economy. You get all of them involved in whatever you are doing. Whether they have retired or they are still there, you need to bring them back with their experience. We need to tap from their knowledge, from the information, residue of information that they have to support the growth of the aviation industry. But all those things, the be all and end all, translates to finance. You have to have enough resources to run the aviation industry. And it's not only to finance it, you have to have a backup for it through the central bank, where all the stakeholders, whoever is owed, in foreign exchange, not the naira. Paying them the naira, they have the surplus naira here. They can't carry the naira physically back to their home countries. That's where the problem lies. And this is the challenge a lot of these foreign airlines are having now. If care is not taken, as time goes by, some of them will start pulling off from flying in and out of Nigeria. They are still, Nigeria is a large economy in Africa. It's a large market. So they are having field day and good time that are also having their aircrafts filled to the brim in and out of Nigeria. That's why they are coming. But they have a lot of backlog in terms of remittances of their foreign exchange component. And they've been telling them stories. They've been going back and forth, back and forth. From the last time I followed it, they are owed between 500 million to $1 billion.
Okay.
For the airlines in terms of the passenger carriage they've done in and out of Nigeria. The naira is here, but why don't you provide and remit, even if it is in tranches, remit their money to them? It is their legitimate money. It's not money that you regard as money laundering or that they are doing any round tripping. This one is a straightforward business. They are not like some of those crooks we had within the last 8 years, the last regime that were into rent seeking and round tripping. Those who were involved in money laundering, these are not the class of investors. And that is exactly what is affecting all the aviation industry.
I would also want to chip this in. What would it really take for Nigeria to have, to expound its aviation industry? What would it really take? Okay, because 102 international airports is in the U.S. alone. 102, international airports in the U.S. alone. Biggest of them is in Denver, Colorado, Atlanta's Hartsfield Jackson Airport. It has 275,000 passengers daily, with average arrivals and departure of 2,700 aircraft coming and going daily, totaling 5,400 aircraft. Now, it has an annual turnover of 107 million passengers. That is annually. But then let's come back home to Nigeria. In Nigeria, the biggest airport is the NMI. 16 aircrafts going in and 16, 16 coming in and 16 going out. That's why I asked the same question. What will it really take for us, for this country, to have something bigger, something better, to expound what we have? That was why I started by asking, do we actually need to renovate, what we have, or we should get to demolish what we have already and have something better, bigger, something world class?
Where is the resources to do that? That is the question. Even if you do it on basis of private-public partnership arrangement, PPP arrangement, it is not easy. You see, any investor coming to put in funds to galvanize development, he's not Father Christmas. He will be sure that whatever he's investing in your place, at the nick of time, he should reap his investment by way of profit, and that he will not just go empty-handed. He didn't come here to come and do fanfare or bazaar. So those are the aspects you look at.
Okay.
Those things we are looking at, we are just daydreamers to begin to compare what happens here with what happens in the U.S. It is not possible. It's incomparable. Mind you, U.S. is it has about 50 states, and the size alone is something else. In fact, the size of Texas State is almost the size of Nigeria in terms of land mass.
No, we're talking about funds now,
Yes.
not the size of the country itself. You know,
Yeah, I'm
but
saying. Now, the fault I'm telling you, why I'm doing this basic analysis for you is to know that even that Texas economy, you can't even compare it with what you call Nigeria. Look at even California as a state. The economy is almost, if you're rating worldwide, there's no way you count 10 large economies worldwide that will not include California. It's just a state in the US.
okay.
So anybody trying to do comparison is waste of time. Then the issue of saying that you want to build world-class airport. The airport, you see, the hood does not make the monk. It's not for you to build it to look beautiful. That's not what the essence is. The essence is not the aesthetics. It is the functionality, effectiveness of the airport and the airline industry generally. That's where you focus your attention. And you do it in pari passu with maintaining the standard, at least to an acceptable level. So for you to begin to think of building what you saw in Charles de Gaulle, or what you saw in Frankfurt, or what you saw in Atlanta, Jacksonville International Airport, that is daydreaming. There is no way. Even the domestic airport in Atlanta, you can't even meet it. You can't
Okay.
stop with it.
Now,
You cannot.
CP, Nigerians, alongside stakeholders, have said that the high interest rate on loans, one, the high and multiple taxation and high airport charges were responsible for the failure of Nigerian airlines to operate profitably. Now, I'm coming back home. Let's come down, properly so we can understand. From Lagos to Enugu, I'm sure you still have aircrafts running twice a week. Because I'm aware the last time I visited Ondo State, I think it was even, I think the aircraft there runs, I think once a week or twice, if I can still remember, that is going from Lagos to Enugu, or going from Akure, or going from Lagos to some of these, states. You find out that we still have aircraft running just twice a week, and we want to find out why it is like that and what can be done to increase that. That's why I told you, don't you think the federal government should look at the aviation industry, the aviation sector, all right, and put in money, do something about it, and make it look robust enough whereby the government can at least get funds from that area back to its coffers?
Well, like you made an instance of having 2 flights from Lagos to various parts of Nigeria in a week, maybe whether Enugu or Calabar or Uyo or Port Harcourt and so on and so forth. You see, what determines the number of times an aircraft or an airline can put their aircraft to various routes is dependent on passengers they have. If you don't have passengers, are you going to put in an aircraft to fly from Enugu to Port Harcourt, or to fly from Enugu to Akure, and so from Lagos to Akure, or from Lagos to Accra or Warri? The answer is capital no. So when you do your projections, depending on bookings, these days with the ICT upgrades and developments, you can sit in the comfort of your house and book your flight. And online, you pay from your bank to the airline. So they have been able to know the number of passengers that are doing those routes. So
CP, let me also come in here. I also want to argue with that point, for instance, that you see, it has to do with the passengers on ground. Do you know that our government, our system here makes it look like boarding a flight is for the rich alone? I'm sure you see it that way. We just look at it like you cannot board a flight if you're not a rich man. That is how, they've made us think. And so, don't you think the price of, the fare, the price of boarding aircraft should get to reduce drastically? Don't you think it should?
It is not practicable. It's not feasible at all. You don't. If you drop the price, how do you run the business? Because you see, in every business you go into, you look at CBA, cost benefit analysis. What is the financial implication of what you put in and the output at the end of the day? Are you making profit? If you're not making profit, then you cannot continue that business. It cannot be. It's not sustainable.
The price of fare from Benin Republic here, the price of fare from just Benin Republic here to, let's say, South Africa or even UK is different from the price you have here in Nigeria, from here to the UK.
You see, that one is another issue altogether. Doing Lagos to UK is the cost is outrageous.
Okay.
That one,
beautiful.
A problem with some of those airlines, because if you are doing from Accra, Ghana, to Heathrow, London, it is the same distance, the same time, the same number of hours, 6 hours, that you do from Lagos to the same Heathrow. But you find out that the cost of flight or fare from Accra is almost half what you're paying from Lagos to Accra to London. Then the question is why? Why is it like that? If you go in deep and discuss with some of those airline operators, they'll open up and tell you the truth. That number one, it's question of demand and supply. That there are too many people in Nigeria who are traveling.
Okay.
In Ghana, and be sure they don't have that kind of number. They don't have that volume. But they still have to service or maintain those routes, But here, there's day you go to the airport, you think there's mass exodus from Lagos. You think the whole Lagos are on their way to overseas, whether Middle East, Europe, US, and so on and so forth, Asia. Because all the aircrafts are filled to the brim, no matter the state of the economy. So when they are seeing all those things, that is why they are putting in more flights to Nigeria. They believe there is something here, it's a good market.
Okay.
So that is what has caused the cost to go that high. And at the same time, there are multiple charges from all those agencies because it's like they give targets. The federal government expects so much from each of the ministry departments.
Hello. Okay. I think better off this time around. Let's see if we can also get the people to also participate in this talk, in this discussion. I want to make it as robust as possible. Okay. Let it go around. Let everyone talk about this. The NMIA. It's a very big one. Of course, the aviation industry in Nigeria. Recall I started by saying that the aviation industry stakeholders are also worried alongside Nigerians about the growth of the industry without the presence of profitable airlines in operations. They're stressing that the industry may not grow if urgent steps are not taken to remedy the situation. All right, let's get to the phone lines now. And of course, you can also send your messages in via 0700 903 903 903. Yeah, that's a WhatsApp number anyway. Again, the number is 0700 903 9039. All right, but then to call in to participate, the number is 0700 903 903 903. When last did you travel? What are those things you noticed in our airport? Maybe the local wing or the international wing? Talk to us right now. Let's get to probably advise the government on what to do best. Good. 0700 903 903 903. Just move away from your radio set. Okay? Yeah, let's do this. Hello, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Kami Judy.
Well, good afternoon.
My name is Chicks. I'm speaking from the United Kingdom.
Welcome, Chicks.
Yeah, the issue of the issue of the airline, is saddening, because you might not know the problems Nigerians face until you leave the country, or you plan to leave the country and come back, or you just want to go on holiday. The issue is this. And the airline companies have been crying about that. It is common sense. It is multiple taxation. And the exchange. If Nigeria can fix these two things, I tell you, I kind of disagree a little bit with CP.
Okay.
Because where you have traffic, right, the airline fees tend to be cheaper.
Okay. It tends to be cheaper, right?
Yes. Because the airlines, they are happy to take people on. Because whether they fill up or not, they're going to spend the same amount of expenses they're doing. Okay? So, Nigeria, you see how telephone line is. If you want to know what I'm talking about, you go to Ghana, right? You buy their telephone line, and you see how much they are paying. Nigeria is paying well less than many countries because of our population. That is how these two business operates. So many businesses operate in that format.
Okay.
Okay. But the issue is the government, the multiple taxation.
Right.
Okay, and all other things that is not easy for these airlines. So they add this money, to cover up all this. Government shenanigans. Let me put it that way, because it's not really fair on Nigerians. It's not really fair on Nigerians. If you want to travel from here to India, it's as cheap as anything. These are countries that have population. They compare with Nigeria. I can tell you, Ikami Judy, if I'm calling Nigeria today from here, it's way cheaper than somebody calling Ghana, calling any other countries. And if you want to know, try countries that have population again. You see, it is cheaper again.
Okay.
It is so sad. And they need to do something about that. I listen a lot to all these airline operators, and what they are saying is completely true. I don't know why they're not listening. Yet you going out, you're looking for investors. You have to manage what you have first. Then the people can see how you manage it, and they'll have confidence and come down to invest. Look, let's not deceive ourselves. Buhari traveled for 8 years in the name of investors. How many of them did we see? If things are going as it should, we don't need to look for investors. Nigeria, you speak to anybody. Like I said to you, I travel a lot. Once they know you are from Nigeria, they have the interest. But the problem, the next thing start the insecurity and all those kind of a thing. It hurts. It hurts. That is the real issue. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate your call. Let's do this one. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, hello. Yeah,
Oh,
good afternoon.
welcome. Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Chukot.
Okay, where you calling from?
From UK.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. I hope you always you are Mr. Civil. Keep it civil. So, wow. I do like your show. Okay.
Thank you.
So I'm going to keep it civil.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So you see the person that just called now. CP Choose was saying something, and they demand, if you check the distance from London to New York, London to Washington, Frankfurt to New York, I can call even from London to Sydney, you will find that Nigerians are paying more.
Nigerians are paying more?
Are paying more from London. I'm telling you. We are paying more in everything. If I use my language, you will not like, but I don't blame the people that are using the language they are using because they are going through pain. That's why they are using such language, and I will beg you to try to accommodate some of them because they are going through a lot, and that's why their voice is like that. So if you look at Ghana to London, is cheap. Even on the telephone, even internet, even everything, we are paying. I know they are paying more. But how much do you pay for? Let's use a telephone for example. How much do you pay for when you top up your telephone? But like in Europe here, you can top up £10 or 10 euros, and you have a full data for 1 month. But somebody will top the same equivalent of that money. They will tell you, oh, you consume it within 1 week. How come?
In Nigeria, right?
So yeah.
Okay.
I know. I top people up sometimes, and you find out that data finish within a month, even not up to a month. But here, so I don't know. Just like what the person, when you have more passengers. When you have more passengers, you will find out that it's supposed to be cheaper. So every other places is supposed to be cheaper. Okay. Look at India, look at China, so it's supposed to be cheaper. We shouldn't be paying over thousands and thousands of pounds and dollars. It has nothing to do. Those countries that have fewer travelers, their rates supposed to be high. I bet you traveled from here to Cotonou or to Lome. The price will be as cheaper as traveling to Nigeria. People used to go through Togo and then come back with a car. Why are Nigerians paying more in everything? Why? They don't have electricity, but they still pay for the electricity they don't use. They don't use what you call the TV something. The TV, what do you call it? The DSV.
Okay.
I know I don't want to call names, sorry, but you know what I'm talking. So at the end of the day, they don't use it because there is no light. Why do they still pay more?
Okay.
So we pay more in everything. The airline shouldn't be charging Nigerians that amount. It's too much. From London to Scotland, you can get it £20. You can get it £30. How much is from Lagos to Kaduna?
Okay. It's okay.
Check it. If you go Ryanair A, you don't have anything. Ryanair A to Germany or you can get it 20, 25, 30 pounds. You don't carry anything. So, but why is it that Nigerians are paying more in everything?
Okay. That's another one. That's another huge one you just mentioned. It's okay. Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Nigerians are paying more for almost everything. Okay. Let's do more calls now. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. Then WhatsApp 0700 903 9039. Again, 0700 903 9039. Okay, you can also send in your messages as quickly as possible, as soon as you can. Just send in your messages via WhatsApp. I get to read all of them, and then we just let's just have a robust one all together. We're looking at the airport, the aviation industry in Nigeria. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon. Yes.
This is Jude from Ikeja.
All right. Welcome.
I believe the first caller have said it all. Multiple taxation. Simple as that. So there's nothing we can do about it. Because of that, everything go high and higher against us here. So that is my point. Multiple taxation. Simple. Thank you.
Multiple taxation. All right. Let's see if we can just keep your calls coming in. Okay, keep your calls coming in. Let's see if we can read. Let me see if we can read some messages now. Can I? Okay. Let's do this one first. Good afternoon.
Yeah, they come Judy.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I just wake up from sleep. This is Monday.
All right.
I'm listening to the conversation concerning these airlines and the travel. I have a friend very close that traveled to Dubai, and he told me about this traveling issue. So why I'm making this reference is that he traveled to Dubai, and the way he traveled is very, very, very high, and it's not easy for him. But by grace, he succeed and go. But I asked him to interview him about this thing. Yes, he's trying to tell me that the people that is initiating this money issue, they are making more travel and to make things to be difficult for the common people to not to be traveling. They are doing it to their own self and to the politicians. Let the benefit to be bearing and let the money to be high. Like if you another foreign country want to go to another foreign country, it's very, very cheaper, and they use coins sometimes. The way you explained to me, I was very marveled, and I was in short, it's a prestige to me. But I don't know why they are doing it in this our country to affect us. So we to want to move to another country. Is it to make us to not succeed or to make the dollar to be going high? Because no matter anything, the thing you have said the foreign currency and to pay money for visa it is very, very hard. It's very, very hard because all these things is foreign exchange. Is what I see, and the thing is killing our currency, making us to pay more expenses, and I see it like a tax.
Okay.
It's a very big tax. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much too for calling. It's a tax, a very, very big tax. So it's okay. Let's see. More questions. A whole lot of questions here. But then let's see. Can we read some messages now? This person is saying government says no money, no money. Where is the subsidy money? They said when they removed subsidy, all will be well. Gabi sent in that from Ojo. Thank you so very much. Well, keep up the good ethical journalism profession you have chosen to do. Concerning cultists in rampage in Nigeria's family background, and is already being politicized. Evil is gaining ground daily. If you are soliciting for jobs, they will ask you if you belong to what? Okay, let's hold on with that first. Hello, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon.
Julian.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Julian.
Welcome.
Yeah, this is Prince Akwachi calling from California.
Welcome.
And I know you guys were talking about the aviation.
The aviation industry. Exactly.
You know, yeah, one of the problems I kind of encountered in Nigeria is first is not only did I encounter the problem of touts, around the airport, of which they will want to drag your bags with you. The infrastructure, totally has broken down. And then also the fact that, you can't even get connecting flights to different places. Like, you could go from Lagos to Asaba, but you cannot connect from Asaba to say something like Calabar and other places. You have to come all the way back to Lagos again before you connect others. Here we don't. It's not like that. Here it's a competition. As a matter of fact, they make you go on flight. Flight is even cheaper than even driving or going by bus. And the airlines, they also offer you something like rewards. There's you earn points each time you get on flight. You earn points. At some point you get it, you fly free of charge, for a couple of times that you want to travel. Another thing is also the customer service there is very poor. In Murtala Mohammed is very poor. Now, trying to leave Nigeria, this lady came up and told me, first, it took a long time, and by the time it got to my turn, they talked about, oh, the POS is done, that I have to give her physical cash. And I'm like, I don't have physical cash. I don't have that cash to give you, but I have my card. They said, they can't work with the POS. Then what do you want me to do? Oh, she said, that I could drop my bag. I could drop it. I said, you want me to drop my bag and leave with my? I don't know what is in the bag. It became a big tussle. It became a big tussle. I almost missed my flight. And when I got into that flight, I asked the attendants there, and they told me whatever that lady did was illegal. She shouldn't have done that. That is wrong. So pretty much there is a lot that has to go into all the aviation sector that needs to happen. It's a money generating sector that if Nigeria, if they exploit, they will make a lot of money. Somewhere like California have, how many airports? So many airports, about 6 or 7 airports in one state.
Only
They
California.
are functional and pretty much, well kept and maintained. That's all I can say for now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so very much. I appreciate your call. Okay. 0700 903 9039 is the WhatsApp number. You can call that number too. But then officially 0700 903 903 903. That's the official number now. The Tinubu administration said it plans, to focus on optimizing and boosting revenue generation, for Nigerians aviation industry, and also ensure strict compliance with international regulations and standards. Well, we'll get to talk about that briefly, okay? Just hold on. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, can you there?
Yes, good afternoon.
It's Mecca from UK.
All right, welcome.
I'm just listening to your program. It's very, very quite interesting. Yeah, this issue of aviation is something I don't know if Mr. President is serious, whatever you're doing, tackling the sufferings and the people are going on in that country. Sometimes I wondered why we pay more from Heathrow here to
Lagos
or Abuja. Yeah, or Abuja. I wonder, even as I'm coming back, I'm always considering whether I'll fly to Cotonou, Togo, Ghana to come to Nigeria.
Wow.
Honestly, I don't know if Mr. President are serious, people minded, they should look into all this matter. I'm telling you honestly, look into what is the cost of this airline. Why are we paying more? Nigeria is a lucrative country in anything. We are very good in business. I don't know why are we suffering for what we have in Nigeria. Okay, as in, we have the money to build a good capacity airport. But do you know the problem? Corruption, stealing.
Okay.
Everything. You have the corruption, everything, stealing. That's what the problem we're having. Where do we go from here? Festus Kawemo, I don't know, he's a minister of aviation.
Yeah.
I think he has traveled around the world and seen the problems. Still, we in Nigeria are falling short in this city. We can make that aviation as a viable economy. It can bring more revenues to Nigeria. But sometimes we overlook it. I don't know what are we chasing for. We can stand there talking, became a toothless bulldog every time. I'm so surprised what is happening. What I'm playing, if Nigerians can swallow corrupt, that's remove corruption, over invoicing of budget, padding of budget. That is the problem we're having. Early in the time, there's no money. What cause it? I don't know. It can be we can build a reputable airport.
Airport, exactly.
I live close to Heathrow. I saw many airlines that landing there every day. So many airlines I haven't seen in Nigeria, but I've seen them here in UK. Every time they have about 5 terminals different, but we can do it. What is the problem? Corruption, stealing of money, politicizing everything. We can't be serious in doing something like be proactive in anything. But everything we politicize it, everything corruption, investment. Where are we going? That's the problem. Nigerians are paying more for something they're supposed to be enjoying. No problem. If you want to go to Nigeria now, you have to plan. You have to book 7 months ahead, so even to get the ticket cheaper. Like this December now, many people are booked, fully booked. Virgin Atlantic and the British Airways, they are fully booked. Because if you are booking on close to December, it might be higher, 2,000, 3,000 pounds. That is it. That is a lucrative place to go. But what the problem we're having? Corruption, by the mismanagement of our money. Can you if you start talking about Nigeria problem, I'll get mad here, honestly. I don't know what to say again, honestly. I'm tired. Let them do something so that Nigeria can enjoy that country for one day. People enjoy that country for one day. Everything costly, everything. I don't know what is happening. From one problem or another. I don't know whether I put improper people in that man to be managing airport. Look at State Lodwa. Sometimes they are charging fraud on the airport. Even what the other aviation, maybe the environment in airline. Every day, every time.
All right.
What are we doing? Thank you, my brother. Take time.
Thank you too. Thank you. Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Yeah, we'll still take a couple of calls before we wrap up, okay? Yeah, a couple of calls, then we're good to go. Let's do this one. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
And Commissioner, I greet you.
Good afternoon.
Commissioner, if you can be coming to this station every day, people will watch you like, I don't know. You see, Nigeria, corruption has killed. My name is Obiako.
Okay.
I'm calling from Afromedia.
All right.
Corruption has killed this country to the extent that you hear what is happening and you compare it to what is happening in other countries. You get angry with yourself. Honestly, I told my son this afternoon that if I say I will not listen to radio, I get angry. And if I listen to radio, I get angry. Because I get angry because of the things that happen in other countries, and that we have facilities here, and those things cannot happen here because of corruption. Now, if you queue up to enter a plane, to board a plane at the airport, somebody will come and carry your trolley and ask you, find something for me. And that one you are finding for him is not part of the taxes you pay. The tax will go to government. We hope it will go to government, but we don't know if it goes. But a lot of before they put your luggage on the trolley, you find me something. This one find me. If you don't have cash, they will delay you. They will delay you at the airport. And that is not all. It makes you that when you even travel to outside this country, they look at you as you are coming from a corrupt country. Even if all the money, if all the planes you fly into that country is owned by, they look at you as a corrupt person. I was in Oasi Airport. Oasi is Charles de Gaulle Airport. I was in that airport. I entered there. I went with a shopping bag from one of the supermarkets. Okay. Because I didn't want to get myself involved with excess luggage. So I just went with my coat. I put on a coat. and then a spare pant and a spare singlet, and my toothpaste. So when I got on the queue, I said I queued with nothing to declare. They asked me where you're coming from. I said Lagos. They said Lagos, come out. They said, where's your luggage? I said, this is my luggage. You know, they took me into a private room and stripped me to my pants.
Wow.
And, you know, they turned still and entered. They screened me through that to check whether I swallowed something. I came out again, they started looking at me. That this one is coming from Lagos and he has this luggage. So that is the kind of thing Nigerian travelers go through. You at home you are not safe. Outside that you are not safe. And it's because of few people in this country that have made this country to the point of no that we are beyond local repair. I say it. We are beyond local repair. Anybody you are putting in any position, if you have no criminal record, they will not put you. The present, what do you call him? The present man now in the LG, someone, I know his history. So, a lot of people like that. So, in Kenya, I thank you for bringing up this and bringing the commissioner to come and talk about this. I have learned a lot from him, and if you continue to push it, people will go to bed. They will continue to listen to him. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you so very much for talking to us. I appreciate you. Yes. Okay, 0700 903 903 903. Now, the statement, according to the 5-point agenda that I mentioned by the federal government, you know, as regards the aviation industry in Nigeria, you know, they said they would ensure strict compliance with, you know, safety regulations and continuous upward movement of Nigeria's rating by the ICAO. They also said that they would support, create support for the growth and sustenance of local airline businesses while holding them, you know, to the highest international standards in the aviation industry. And I think I also mentioned that with the CP, you know, improvement of infrastructure in the aviation industry, development of human capacity within the industry, optimizing revenue generation for, you know, the federal government. And yeah, that's it. But then let's see how all of these will be achieved. And some have even said, hey, this current, you know, Minister of Aviation, I'm talking about Mr. Festus Keyamo, people have asked several questions, you know, as regards, you know, his level of his capability, so to speak. Let's do this one now. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Yes, let's go there. Talk to me. What's your name?
My name is Austin, coming from Maweda.
All right.
A lot of people have called and complained about corruption. My own take is that this corruption issue has been long in Nigeria, that it has been on ground. So it's not possible to eradicate corruption. So government will keep, you know, because we have a kind of government that delights in making things difficult for the people. So to ease corruption in Nigeria, it's very difficult. So that's my take on it.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate your call. Can we do one more before we run? 0700 903 903 903. Okay. Let's see. Good afternoon to you. Hello, good afternoon. Okay. Let's do this one again. Can I read this message? Okay, this person says that the aviation industry should be reformed or restructured holistically in good faith by experts who knows their onions. He said, and not by politicians. The Minister of Aviation, is he an expert in aviation industry? Is a big question also. So the renovation of the industry, if they give him the wrong type, how would he know? If they give him the wrong type of what now? Are you talking about? He said, how will he know? Just relying on the ministry officials. Emeka Moses from Lagos sent in that message. 2:50 by the time. We should be wrapping up now. See if I can take just one more call before we say goodbye. Just one more call before we say goodbye. But then let me also let you know that I am still here with CP Chooks. CP Chooks is still very, very much here. And before I wrap up, I would also want to bring him on board again. I'm talking about CP Chooks here. Let me bring him on board again to just get his final statement as regards how to push the aviation industry, to the next level. All right. But before I do that, let me see if I can take just this call before I bring him in. Hello. Good afternoon to you.
Mr. Ikami today.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine. Good afternoon to you.
Yes. Sebastian from New York City.
Sebastian from New York. Okay. Okay. Good to have you join us again today.
Yes, I was racing to join the conversation.
Oh yeah.
We have a problem in Nigeria. And the problem is of monumental scale. Corruption. I heard the issue of aviation, airports. The infrastructural deficit is so loud,
okay,
that even the deaf will hear it. And the blind can even see it. For what does it take for Nigeria to have a standard airport? I live in New York City. Almost every 20 years, or 20 years ago, JFK was renovated. And as I speak to you, I just came back from JFK now. It is undergoing renovation while the airport is still functional. LaGuardia Airport in Queens, New York. Both airports are in Queens, New York. It underwent a major renovation, a brand new airport as we speak. It took about 4 to 5 years to get it done, and the airport was still functional. From reports, that airport right now is one of the best airports in the world. What is wrong with us? We travel. I think we are the most traveled people on earth, the Nigerians. And our politicians, they have properties all over the world. They see this infrastructural development taking place, and yet they come back home, turn blind eyes to these things. They don't come back with innovation. They don't come back with developmental hunger to affect the well-being of our country. But all we hear is corruption. Like the 5-point agenda that this lawyer is proposing. It's just English. It's just language. Nothing is going to come out of it. Nothing. I can bet you absolutely nothing. Because it has nothing to do with aviation. You are a lawyer, for crying out loud. What happened to putting in people who are in the aviation sector to manage that ministry? So I think we are heading in the wrong direction.
Okay.
The people that are in leadership, I don't think they mean well for the country. Because if they do, with all the travel experience that they have, with all the things that they see outside, it baffles me to the marrows of my bones why they don't come home with that inspiration to affect change in Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's so sad.
Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Sebastian. All right, let's get to CP Chooks now. Let's just get one or two statements from him before we run. CP, are you there?
Well, as regards what Sebastian from New York had just said, that's the best thing for us to move forward. We need to get people who are experienced to come back on board to support whatever program they have to move the aviation industry forward. What do I mean by that? They can put up, circulate to the larger public that those who had worked in the airport have experience, have some training, that have something to put on board for the new arrangement should come up and get interviewed or submit papers to be involved. It's not a rocket science. It's not something that we speak grammar or go and bring people with long certificates. No, we are talking of people who have, like myself, even though I'm a police officer, I was fully involved when I was in the airports. I worked in the airport for totally almost 4 years. I was not only doing the police work, I was involved in most of the happenings operationally in the airport. I used to join them in doing what they call airport security program, that Transportation Safety Board of America and so on and so forth used to come. I even have a certificate on course, some certificates on courses I did with them concerning not only security in the airport, but operations at the airport. So when they bring in people like us and those who have those capacity and experience on board, the wherewithal, you see something different. And above all, there has to be transparency and accountability. There has to be probity in whatever anybody that will be brought in should come up with, so that anybody that has, they have to be profiled. Anybody that has a questionable character should not be part of that team. Whatever team they set up, they is still subject to drop and bring in some people, drop and bring in some people. Then at the end of the day, there will be a package. That will be in first program that should be done, that we expect that so and so period they will have achieved this. So and so period of time, they would have gotten to this level.
Thank you so very much, CP. I appreciate you. Do have a beautiful day today.
You too.
All right.
Thank you.
Voice of the People 90.3 FM. It's time to go. Thank you so very much. But I'll be here tomorrow, all right, for the midweek edition. My name is Jude Ikami Jude. Good afternoon.